Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I just want to do a couple more notes um, on the assignments for 6.2. Sorry, I have things collapsing behind here. Um, the assignments for 6.2 is lighting stinks. Okay, don't fall. Okay, I think that worked. Okay, so for 6.2, um, I'm trying not to give away any of the answers, any. Um, but I do want to look at some of the confusing things because I know the videos aren't always the best and sometimes they're uh, frustratingly confusing. So anyway, so to start with, we've got the conversation starter, and uh, I want to look at some of the answers are very small. It's especially hard because of the protactile conversation going on. So that can kind of cover up some of the signs or change how they would normally be signed in a regular ASL conversation as opposed to one that's tactile. So remember, this is the sign for sometimes. It's easy to see from the side. It's kind of hard to see from front. So it's that little circle. It's a little gear, and every time it touches, it happens. So it's sometimes, right? Um, uh, she signs Y. Y. And it's hard to see. Like, this doesn't look like Y unless you realize that what it is it's this, right? Y. It's just a miniaturized version. Y. Y. And she's doing it with both hands. So she's reading it here. So this one she's not really paying attention to. So Y. Y. You'll sometimes see it with the middle finger. Y. 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 Okay. So that one's hard to see. And then also she signed understand. Now, we've seen it up here, right? A big old light going off, right, above your head. But sometimes you'll see it even down as far. Oh, I see, right? So I understand. And again, because it's the protactile, this one's not being emphasized. This one is, because that's what she's feeling. Four, the numbers are messed up on here, so I don't know why they're in that order. I think they moved the questions up after the fact. But I want to point out, as I mentioned in the lecture, this is the handshake for geocaching. It's also used for watching. So some people will do this for geocaching. Some people will do this for geocaching. I don't do it myself, so I don't know what the appropriate action is for geocaching. But just be aware that if it's like this, it's probably geocaching. In the worksheets, there's a slightly different version, and I will talk about that in just a second. And also, he responds with this, or a couple variations on that. And what he means is on the weekends, right? Weekend. But he doesn't get to geocache during the week, but on the weekends he does. And she responds with, the more often you do it, the better you get. So you should try to do it every day or every other day. Okay. So, but you can watch what she's signing and piece that together. The last one, collecting. Rocks, so little hard things, rocks, or cards, Pokemon cards. Pokemon, right? Cards. That one's a pretty easy one. So the next one that we're going to look at, and let me pause. Okay, so now for the worksheets, worksheet part 1 and part 2. The thing I want you to do is, and here's what's going to make this much, much easier. They're asking you for a specific thing. They're asking you for OSV. Right? That's all they want. So that's what you're looking for. Don't be distracted by other things, and they're going to try to distract you. So I hate to cook. The object is the topic, right? What does she hate to do? So you're going to want to put it in that order. So you're going to look for the sentence that has the correct order. Some of these examples introduce rhetorical questions or introduce a more complex ASL grammatical structure. like to say, I did this. Why? Because of this. Or I went to do this. What did I do? I did it. Like, don't be distracted by the rhetorical question. What you want to look for is OSV, the simple thing. So, and sometimes we call that the topic comment. Is another way I've suggested that can sort of be easier way of doing it, easier way of deciphering a sentence. So I would recommend this. Take every English sentence they give you and convert it with that OSV. The, literally, if you could just do those, and it may be two OSVs, OSV, OSV. So here's this, and then that becomes the object for this, right? So OSV, SV, right? So just so you're aware, they're looking for something very simple here. It distracted me, and I almost got something wrong. But I went, oh no, just stick with the task that they've given. So I hate to cook. I'm not going to give you the answers, but here's one. I love shopping so much that I would shop every week. They actually sign a much better ASL sentence, but that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for OSV. So definitely write it out. Make sure it matches. And don't be fooled by rhetorical questions. So this one, it's a bit risky. Remember what comic books are. Boom. And the question with this is look at who the subject is. It's not just one person. It's two people. So look at those sentences and how do you correctly sign me and this person? We two. Okay. That may be something you need to review, but it's how do we two do this? Okay. So that's an important sign in that one. My grandmother's sewing skills are exquisite. The order, right? So remember what OSV, the topic, comment. Boom, boom. And again, if you keep it simple, these things will be good. Now, here's another one. My favorite hobby is playing video games. I could play video games all night long. So again, it's if you just look at it simply, what's the OSV? That will work. It's also can be distracting where sometimes the right answer looks the most boring. It's not fair, but I suppose it wouldn't be fair if the correct answer was the most exciting one. So keep in mind, OSV, that's what they're asking about. Now, all right, I'm going to go backwards. Burp, burp, burp. So now we're going to look at worksheet part 2. Next. So this one's a slightly different one. So here's the preview. So the signer is going to sign a sentence about hobbies and interests, and you choose the correct one they mention. And they seem to get progressively more descriptive, adding more signs. The first couple, pretty easy, and then they start getting longer and longer. So just be aware that's going to happen. First one's easy, right? Second one, I want you to watch what he signs because he describes it. In the video lecture, I mention a bit more specifically, but he talks about the process of what he's doing. And so I want you to just be careful with that. It makes sense when you look at the answers. I just want you to be aware of what's happening in the video. For question 3, that one's, again, very easy. Number 4, that's the one that's tripping people up. He sets up the context, and then he signs something that looks like a bunch of other options. So look at what he's taught. Look at the context he sets up. Where is he? What is going on? And then what is he doing? Right. So don't just look for one vocab word and pick it. Right. One vocab word. Look at the context. The entire sentence is going to need to be used to answer this question. Question 5. Question 5 is easy. right? So really, it's that one. It's number 4. There's always one that they get you. So just be careful. Always look at what the context is. Look at all the context clues they give you. All right. So really, that is all I have in the way of advice for approaching these assignments for 6.2.